Hello there everybody, it is me XfreezerBunny and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So today we are once again back in Newcrest, and this time we are building this rustic Japanese tiny house. So this is a fully functional tier 3 tiny home. This is the first build we are doing in this part of Newcrest, and I think I'm gonna keep this area mostly like residential. I'm imagining it to be like a dense suburban area. So this is going to be the first build for this area, and I will say that this is probably going to be the only tiny house in this save file as well. And I think you'll see how I managed to keep it under 100 tiles in just a little bit, mostly using stuff from bb.show hidden objects. But before I talk more about the build, I just want to take a second to give you a quick update on this series. So far I still haven't made up my mind on what I'm gonna call this save file, so if you have any suggestions, please feel free to let me know. I've got some really cool suggestions in my very first video. I actually had some names that I liked over there, so we'll see. As you guys know, this series is very much a work in progress, so yeah, you can expect a lot of it to, you know, change and evolve as we progress into the series. Another thing that I just want to say is just want to say thank you to all of you for being so supportive of this series. I honestly didn't expect you guys to be so enthusiastic about all of the Japanese builds, but a lot of you have been giving me so many suggestions, and a lot of you have been really involved in, you know, the series, and I really love that. You know, I love hearing what you guys have to say, and I love, you know, hearing your guys' story and how much you love Japanese culture, and how much all of us want a Japanese themed pack, which hopefully we will be getting soon. Earlier this week, The Sims did just announce the upcoming expansion pack, Eco Lifestyle, and to be honest, I don't really want to, you know, form any opinions about it as of this point, because it's still, you know, quite a while off. I mean, it's a month away and we don't really know a lot about it. Based on what I've seen from the trailer though, I am a little bit surprised that it is a full expansion pack, because the features that I saw I felt like were more game pack worthy in my opinion, but that's just me. Obviously we don't know what the full pack is going to be like, so I think I'm probably going to have to get my hands on it before I really you know, finalize my opinion on that. But yes, and also I am planning to do a giveaway probably sometime this month. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun little challenge. I'm not gonna give away too much. You'll just have to wait for that video to come out, but I was able to get my hands on a couple of codes thanks to SimGuru Frost, and I'm gonna be giving those away in a challenge that I'm going to be doing in the future, so please keep an eye out for that as well. But other than that, you guys can now see me pretty much make this building next door entirely out of wall pieces from debug, and let me tell you, it was so tedious to place all of these wall pieces individually. That's why I actually highly edited this process, because it just took me forever to get everything where I want it to be. But this is basically how I managed to achieve a total number of 92 tiles, I think, for this build. So yeah, it does fall within the tier 3 tiny lot category, so you will be getting all of those benefits. And what I like about this technique of using these debug items is that you actually don't have to pay for them. You know, they don't count towards your, you know, like bill when you're actually buying the house itself, so it's great when you're on a budget. I don't actually know how much this house is worth, but something tells me it's not a starter house. So yeah. Oh, by the way, this house, not sure if you guys recognized it, but it's actually based off of the house from the anime and manga March Comes In Like a Lion. It's a really beautiful story about, you know, a person's journey, and it's beautiful about relationships and, you know, about depression and all of that. I highly suggest you check it out. It looks really cartoony, but it's actually a very mature storyline, which I really enjoy. The person who made it, I forget her name, but she's also the one who did Honey and Clover, which is also another anime and manga that I really liked. It's a little bit of an older anime, but I really like that. I also watched the movie of Honey and Clover as well. So yeah, this is pretty much the house it was based on. So, oh, by the way, also I am reusing this technique basically of this kotatsu. It's the same technique I did in my last build. I basically just saved the room on my gallery and I just plopped it here because I feel like it made sense for this particular lot. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I was going for, you know, a more rustic traditional vibe. I did make this house for a younger single sim, so you will see some more, I guess, contemporary elements to it as well. It's not completely like a historical house. So yeah, this house actually ended up having one bedroom that has a double bed actually. So if you want to, you can actually move in a couple in here. But yeah, like I said, it was designed for like a, you know, a more younger, like young adult sim. I imagine she probably went to school abroad, or probably she grew up abroad, and I also thought of her as like a graphic designer, which is why I put like an office in the landing upstairs. But yeah, this house also has one kitchen and one living area, which kind of functions as kind of like a multi-purpose area of a living room and a dining room as well. So this is the room that we're currently furnishing here right now. And yeah, I put that fishbowl over there. So, you know, I think it gives it a little bit more of a personality. I don't really use the fish bowls that much actually. But you know, if you know, send your sim fishing, I guess you can keep a fish in there or whatever. The layout of this house, by the way, is pretty much identical to the one in March Comes In Like a Lion. The thing is, we don't really get to see the entire house itself, especially the second floor. So pretty much the entire upper level is kind of just my artistic representation of what it might be. But this living area and the kitchen is pretty much how it looks in the anime and in the manga, except for a couple of changes, of course. Like this one definitely has a lot of pastel additions to it, which I thought really was true to the personality of the person I envisioned living here. And also, one really interesting thing about this house is the fact that there is a clear modern addition in the form of the bathroom of this house. And it's kind of like this, you know, really kind of like out of place, I would say, addition outside. You can clearly see all of the, you know, plumbing and pipes and stuff like that, but I thought that that gave this house like more of a rustic vibe as well. So I actually really liked the idea of that, so I made sure to incorporate that in this build. By the way, I keep forgetting to talk about this, but yes, I do plan to include Sims in the save file. Most likely they're gonna be the Sims that you see in the house tours. I think most of the houses in this series are gonna come with you know, households. Maybe some will be starter. I haven't, you know, thought about it. But yeah, the Sims that you see in the house tours, they'll most likely be the ones included in the save file as well. So yeah, maybe I'm gonna change up some of their looks, because as of now I'm just getting Sims off of my like library. A lot of them are Sims that I've used in Let's Plays or, you know, other builds before, so I might change up their faces and looks. But some of the families that I've actually showcased, like the one for my suburban Japanese house and for the Machiya, those were the custom families that I made, so I think they're probably gonna change a little bit. But the household I'm gonna be using to showcase this build is actually a Sim that I use quite often. I had her since my city living Let's Play. She's Kylie Miyazaki, and yeah, I think probably the first Japanese Sim I made. So yeah, I use her a lot in my Japanese builds, so yeah, I'm gonna be using her in this build as well. So here we're working on the bathroom, and one thing I noticed about like older Japanese houses are the pink toilets and bathtubs and just plumbing fixtures. So I wanted to stay true to that and just, you know, have this all pink bathroom, except for like this little laundry area, which is kind of like woodsy. But other than that, we have like this I guess vintagey looking bathroom, and yeah, I really like it. Actually, I thought it was actually pretty cohesive to the rest of this house, surprisingly. You would think that for a traditional Japanese house, like an all pastel bathroom would stick out like a sore thumb, but it actually doesn't. I think it really works. I love incorporating that aspect of those pipes on the outside, because I feel like that gave this build a little bit more of an industrial vibe, which for me is kind of reminiscent of some of the styles that we've seen in the trailer for the upcoming pack. And let me just say, this is completely coincidental, because this build actually was finished like almost a week ago. It just took me forever to finish all of the footage because I had to edit out all my indecisiveness and all of that. So yeah, I am actually really looking forward to the pack. I have seen some mixed reactions. To be honest, it's not the farming pack that I was hoping for, but it's fine. I like, if the gameplay is anything like, you know, Island Living and Strangerville, I honestly probably won't play it that much, because I really didn't play that much with, you know, the conservationist career and with the storyline in Strangerville. But we'll see. I'm sure they'll add some other gameplay that I'm sure I will be using. I think right now I'm most excited about the ladders. I think that's the one thing that most people are excited about, and also functional wind turbines and solar panels as well. But yeah, there we just furnished the only bedroom in this house, and I kept it really traditional actually. Most Japanese bedrooms, like in a traditional sense, don't really have a lot of furniture in them. It's usually just a space where you can sleep with your futon. Obviously we don't have a futon, so I just put in like a double bed from Outdoor Retreat, and that one you can actually click and drag with your sim without going into build by mode. So if you want to move things around, you can. I also added some bits of personality by putting like some fairy lights above the bed and like some other stuff in that room as well. But now we're furnishing this room right here, which is kind of like the landing slash office area. And yeah, this is probably where, you know, a lot of the work is being done for this graphic designer sim. I actually put that easel right there. I'm not sure if it works. I'm gonna have to test it out. So yeah, and here I'm just putting in some beams over here, in the ceiling for the kitchen just to give it a little bit more of a rustic vibe. And oh, I also made this house next door. Once again, it's meant to be like a suburban-y house. I tried my best to make it look realistic, but I was just like, yeah, I don't really want to, you know, put too much effort on this because it's kind of like a background thing. So I think hopefully it looks legit, but yeah, it is what it is. I just wanted to make this place look really dense, you know, because that's what Japanese suburban areas look like, right? And I really love this idea of having like a lot of modern contemporary buildings, and then in the middle there's like this, you know, little rustic building. I have seen quite a lot of that in Japan because I spent a lot of time on Google Street View. I don't know why I enjoy it so much, but I actually really enjoy just, you know, driving around Japan on Google Street View. So yeah, I saw a lot of, you know, older buildings sandwiched in between more modern ones. And here we're just working on the front yard, which in my opinion is probably the more exciting garden area of this house because there is a backyard, but that one's less exciting. So I just put this little sitting area and some planter boxes in here as well. Oh, and I also put that wind chime item, which I actually never use in my own personal gameplay, but I have used it in a couple of my Japanese builds, so I'm really happy that I got to use that in this build as well because I think it works. And here I'm just using mostly flowers from by Debug once again. I find that I never use the, you know, in-game like build by mode plants anymore because I just feel like the by debug plants are just so much more realistic. Definitely in terms of like the colors that they come with, they're definitely more realistic and I like the look of them a lot more. And once again, we have this little parking lot over here, just to, you know, make things a little bit more realistic and also fill in that space behind this building. But I think that's actually going to be it for this build, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Once again, please let me know what you think in the comments below. But other than that, I'm gonna go now. Thank you guys so much for watching. You all have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of the video and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.